Today, we're in the zone at AutoZone, replacing some Irritrol valves. Actually, we're gonna rebuild both of these valves. This one is cracked and leaking out of the top, and this one is stuck open. There's also a wire issue going on here with all of these crappy connections. We're gonna clean all of this up. We're gonna replace both valve tops, and we're gonna get this system up and running. Rain or shine, we're gonna get it done. It's just a little rain shower. And I got an umbrella. We're not gonna do this one as an ASMR video. We're actually gonna explain what we're doing here. We took off the top. This is the spring, it's coming out. We're gonna take out the diaphragm next, and then we're gonna take out the collar here, if it'll come out. And yes, I'm doing this one-handed. I had a commenter say, hey, you'd get that done a lot faster if you did it with two hands. Well, yeah, you're right, but then I wouldn't be able to film it, and I am perfectly capable of doing this with one hand. So as you can tell, we've got the collar in, or the seat of the valve, or installed into the seat of the valve rather. The diaphragm went in next. We're gonna put the spring in next. And then we want to line up the solenoid port with where the solenoid port goes there, very simply. And we also wanna line up the little metal stick right there. And hey, look, I'm using the camera to kind of give myself a guide, but now I can't see. So there we go. We're lined up. We got that sitting right there. And in an effort to keep doing this with one hand, we'll use my foot. Get the screws in. And this valve was malfunctioning by staying open. There was a crack in the top somewhere. It was allowing it to seep through, and the valve was not shutting down. So replacing the top and guts, because the top was compromised, is the solution here. We'll go ahead and put all these screws back, and I'll come back to you once I got this rebuilt. And just like you would on your car, you'll go around and give these a nice snug turn using a star pattern. So going across from each other, and make sure that all of the screws are nice and snug. And then the last thing that we need to do, just want to make sure I didn't miss those. Did I miss this one? Yeah, that was the one. All right, and from there, we can install the handle for the solenoid and the solenoid. And then we'll go ahead and rebuild that valve over there and get the wires all fixed up, and then I'll be back. As usual, I got a little ahead of myself and started backfilling. I've already tested these. They're both working just fine. I've also figured out some of the issues that we were having with the wires here by walking around the property and identifying which valves are where and what wire color they're connected to. So I'm gonna be able to troubleshoot that. But before I move on to doing any of that, while I'm in the back of the property here, I'm gonna fix a few things like these heads that were capped in the ground here that are supposed to be risers so that they can plant bushes across the whole back of this again, with the exception of maybe in front of that electrical equipment. And we got a few more broken heads over here. So before we move on to the next area of the property, I'm gonna go ahead and fix all of these heads in here, and then we'll move on. So the manager told me that they had to fix one of the sprinkler heads on the property with a hose. I wasn't sure what he was talking about, and I had to pull out the camera to show you guys because you wouldn't believe me. Would you look at that? Somehow, that's cheaper than a cap. All right, I'm gonna cut that out of there and fix this. And there you have it. The rotor zone is now working. Both of these valves have been replaced and are looking beautiful. Just gonna get out of the way of this rotor here. The next thing I gotta check is the spray zone, where I just replaced all of the heads. All right, after I got that valve replaced, turned on the zone, found a leak here, obviously. And these pipes end right here. They actually were bent down into the ground, and they end right here. So I'm gonna keep digging this way to see if I can pick them up over there, maybe put them back together and get the zone up and running. If that's not gonna be the case, then we're gonna have to propose to troubleshoot to do this. Well, evidently I found the other end of the pipe, so we got them both fixed here. We're good to go. Turns out that pipe's broken about 20 feet down the line, right where they installed the fiber optics box. For now, I'm gonna eat some pizza, and then on to the next one.